So let's talk about Ian Roberts, the superintendent of the Des Moines, Iowa school district that was just arrested and detained by ICE. And the left is crying about this, saying that this was unlawful and this was some racist move or some nonsense. So we're going to address all the things going on here, okay? Number one, this man was a known fugitive and he knew he was a fugitive. He knew, okay? On top of that, he had no work authorization. He was not allowed to work in the United States, but he did it anyway.
If everything that ICE is saying about Dr. Roberts is true, then I just need to know how he passed the background check to hold an education position in New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC, all before he came to Iowa and passed yet another background check. And the school board already put out information about his background check and that there was nothing citizenship related that came up. Call me crazy. I'm just having a hard time believing that that man went through all that trouble to have these fake documents, XYZ, and then is going to be so vocally against ICE, putting such a target on him. Why would you do that if you are an overstayed visa holder?
How does somebody who overstayed his visa, who is in the country illegally, become a superintendent in Des Moines, Iowa, making $270,000 per year? How does that happen?
So we're supposed to believe that the largest school district in the state of Iowa, the Des Moines Public Schools, completely missed in their background check of their superintendent hire, the highest position in their school district, the fact that he wasn't eligible to work in the United States. We're supposed to believe that he's got this criminal history that ICE is talking about that makes him a violent, dangerous man. What's more likely? That or the fact that ICE is making shit up so they can justify doing what Trump said he was going to do with law enforcement from the beginning, from his campaign, when he said he was going to weaponize it, when he said he was going to use the power of the presidency to go after people that he considered woke.
Iowa's biggest school district is in crisis. The superintendent has been detained by ICE, accused of living and working in the US illegally. This isn't just about immigration law, it's about trust, legality, leadership, and what happens when everything we believe about someone is called into question. Hi everyone, Dennis Njoroge here. Quick note, all news reports, statements, and clips belong to their original creators. Full credit and appreciation to the journalists and experts who have brought these facts. I share this only for commentary, education, and analysis. So what happened? Ian Roberts, originally from Guyana, came to the US in 1999 on a student visa. ICE says he was given a deportation order in 2024. They claim he was working without authorization as superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools. He was arrested after a traffic stop, then fled into a wooded area before being captured. ICE says he had a loaded handgun, a hunting knife, and around $3,000 in cash, which is very normal actually in Oregon.
So let's talk about Ian Roberts, the superintendent of the Des Moines, Iowa school district that was just arrested and detained by ICE. And the left is crying about this, saying that this was unlawful and this was some racist move or some nonsense. So we're going to address all the things going on here, okay? Number one, this man was a known fugitive and he knew he was a fugitive. He knew, okay? On top of that, he had no work authorization. He was not allowed to work in the United States, but he did it anyway, okay? That's two acts of criminal behavior, okay? Known fugitive, he knew it, didn't care, evaded law enforcement. Number two, okay? Worked in America even though a court told him you are not allowed to. That's two crimes, okay? Now let's keep this going. On top of that, when ICE came after this man, okay, and finally found him, and detained him or tried to detain him, he ran. He fled from them. And when they detained him or got him, he had a large amount of cash on him and weapons. From my understanding, a firearm and a knife. Okay? What does that sound like to you? It sounds like somebody who knew what was coming and was ready to go on the run. Large amounts of cash and weapons. Okay? And you guys want to defend this. How is it even possible to defend this? He was ordered in May of 2024 and knew about it by a court that he needed to leave or he was going to be removed from the United States. But he didn't give a shit. And now the left wing in America wants to what? Make this about race? This is a racist decision? No, it's not. And we don't give a fuck in this country about the lack of accountability anymore or the victim nonsense. It's not going to work, okay? You're no longer going to be able to use the color of somebody's skin as an excuse for their fucking deplorable behavior. It's not going to work. We don't give a shit anymore. If you misbehave, if you break the law, if you do not conform to society, we will find you, we will arrest you, we will put you away, or we will ship you the fuck out of this country. And that's where we're at. So you can cry racism all you want, but the reality is this man was a criminal, okay? The days of George Floyd are fucking over. If you're a criminal and you engage in criminal activity, you will be held accountable, and we don't give a shit about the victim blaming or the fucking thousands of years of oppression or whatever fucking nonsense you want to fucking claim. It won't work.
So I am Guyanese American, meaning I am an American citizen. I was born on U.S. soil. I have proper paperwork that says that I was born on U.S. soil. Even down to the hospital I was born in. So I'm going to talk about the Des Moines, Iowa, or is it it's Des Moines. Des Moines, Iowa. Superintendent of schools, I think his name is Roberts or something, who was detained by ICE, who was a Guyanese illegal immigrant, supposedly from ICE. So he entered on a student visa in 1999. That is 25 years ago. This is my whole thing. People come here from other countries and think that U.S. is not going to come for them, or they don't need their paperwork to be straight. I'm just in America. I'm just going to chill here. I'm just going to be here. No. You need to go get your paperwork straight. You're telling me that you've been in this country 25 years, 26 years, and you didn't get your paperwork straight? You could have gotten that straight in like 2015. Once you're a citizen, it used to be back in the day, once you've been here for like 5-7 years, you could get your citizenship. I had family that came here in 1999, and honestly, they were here and got green card or whatever, and on a student visa, you should have been able to get a green card easily after you graduated and got your paperwork, especially because a lot of immigration was way more lax back then. So it's like, okay, now you're doing great in the community of Des Moines and you're doing all this stuff. And I feel like the news, the media, I ain't going to say pinpoint who, is now using this like, oh my God, he's such a high-ranking official, a superintendent of schools in Des Moines, Iowa. He's such a high-ranking official, and they're saying he's an illegal immigrant. Bruh, you had so many opportunities to get your paperwork right, and that was not a priority. And for some people, it's not a priority. So I was with my parents studying the citizenship test with my sister, my mom. I remember when they were studying the citizenship test. Maybe you should have did that. And honestly, that's the thing. Like you, it's going to be an issue with this man, because he is not official. He's not. He technically is, or he's a person that, like, back in the day, it used to be, oh, you could come here on a visa and be good. No, you should have taken that time and got your fucking paperwork. So that's my take on this. Maybe they'll let him get his paperwork and stay in the country. Who knows? But with this administration now, you don't know. I'm not saying this to be rude, but yeah. You could have gotten it in 2010 if you wanted to, or 2015. You know, but why does it take such a long time? If you got all these degrees and shit, and you was committing crimes here, they should have sent your ass back for committing crimes. So that's just my take. They said he had a criminal history. I don't know, but if you're committing crimes and you're here on a visa, don't they automatically deport you for that? So that's just my take. People think I should have sympathy with somebody because I should play identity politics and say, oh, they're Guyanese, I'm Guyanese too. No. I think very rationally and logically. Okay, so I don't agree. I mean, he should got his paperwork straightened out. Maybe he will. And maybe he'll be able to stay here. But you gotta suffer the consequences.
If everything that ICE is saying about Dr. Roberts is true, then I just need to know how he passed the background check to hold an education position in New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, D.C., all before he came to Iowa and passed yet another background check. And the school board already put out information about his background check and that there was nothing citizenship related that came up. Call me crazy. I'm just having a hard time believing that that man went through all that trouble to have these fake documents, XYZ, and then is going to be so vocally against ICE, putting such a target on him. Why would you do that if you are an overstayed visa holder?
How does somebody who overstayed his visa, who is in the country illegally, become a superintendent in Des Moines, Iowa, making $270,000 per year? How does that happen? Well, I'm going to tell you with a few more details that I've learned about Ian Roberts and how all of this came about. So he was recently taken into custody by ICE after he was pulled over for a traffic stop and attempted to flee. So since he has been taken into custody, his license has been revoked, his whatever school or teaching, I don't know what that is, license has been revoked, he has been put on leave. But how did this even happen in the first place? I'm not sure exactly when he came to the country, but he did come to the country under a visa. His visa expired, and now immigration lawyers are questioning whether he lied on his I-9 form that helped him gain employment. So he has a Maryland ID, which you can get in Maryland under certain visas. He's also been a registered voter, a registered Democrat voter in Maryland since 2012. So this idea that you're not supposed to be allowed to register to vote if you're not in the country legally, if you're not a citizen, obviously you can. He also got his social security card was issued in New York City, which I also find really, really interesting. And he had a deportation order for him in May of 2024. That is the Biden administration. Let me just reiterate that. He had a deportation order under the Biden administration. That doesn't happen under the Biden administration. So even he had an order under them. And that's what we know.
So we're supposed to believe that the largest school district in the state of Iowa, the Des Moines Public Schools, completely missed in their background check of their superintendent hire, the highest position in their school district, the fact that he wasn't eligible to work in the United States. We're supposed to believe that he's got this criminal history that ICE is talking about that makes him a violent, dangerous man. What's more likely? That or the fact that ICE is making shit up so they can justify doing what Trump said he was going to do with law enforcement from the beginning, from his campaign, when he said he was going to weaponize it, when he said he was going to use the power of the presidency to go after people that he considered woke, to go after people that he considered liberal, the enemy within. That's what he's doing here. That's what ICE is doing. This is not this is so beyond what we should be experiencing right now. Even with an immigration crackdown, we shouldn't be seeing these kind of things. Y'all are just upset that a black man had a weapon and is allowed to carry a weapon and had some money.
I swear it pisses me off when Democrats act like illegals are not taking our jobs. And I'm not just talking about the ones that are picking vegetables and fruits on the farms or doing construction jobs, though those are American jobs that Americans can and should be doing. But I'm talking about the fact that the superintendent of Iowa was making over $300,000 a year. That's a job that an American could have been having. An American could have been making $300,000 a year. And just think about all the other illegal aliens that could be slipping through the cracks and taking high-paying American jobs.
So first of all, let me get this straight. In Iowa, a permitless carry state, meaning you can basically just have a gun wherever, where Governor Kim Reynolds signed a bill letting teachers carry guns inside of schools, a superintendent and hunter has normal rural America things in his car, like so many do in Iowa during deer season. And we're supposed to make something of that. They didn't say he was going anywhere to do anything nefarious, just that he had them in his car. Law enforcement obviously released this as some type of smear campaign against a beloved professional. If I had to wager a guess, because he's black. And then, okay, so he sped away after a traffic stop. What did I say to him during that traffic stop? Like, we know they're scary as heck with the kidnapping and the masks and all of that. But the gun charge. Dr. Roberts was cited, not arrested, for having a loaded hunting rifle in his vehicle on state game lands. He was talking to the warden and he put his gun in the car because he didn't want the warden to feel threatened, because again, he is not stupid. And then he pled guilty to a summary offense, paid a $100 fine, and moved on. And that's literally it. And a lot of you sniffed out that the gun charge story stunk because you're teachers or were former teachers, and you know that we have to pass background checks to work in schools. And he passed. But of course, ICE is turning it into a whole headline about making him sound like a criminal mastermind. It's just giving racism. Dr. Roberts also completed the I-9 form that every employee has to do, where you have to show that you have all the required papers to work. So the district is like, we have no indication that this man is not a citizen. They're saying they have no understanding of this removal order that ICE is talking about. So where is this really coming from? The Supreme Court did just greenlight racial profiling during immigration raids. ICE can stop people just because of what they look like or what language they speak. So I think this is about who gets treated as a responsible gun owner and who gets treated as a threat. And this is one of the issues with this permitless carry shit. Because again, a beloved black school leader is the one caught in their crosshairs. And I have to say, I am kind of disappointed that so many of my followers sent me the headlines and the articles being like, ooh, maybe we should wait on this, Fraz. Maybe. We need to have media literacy here. And the media spins shit for fear-mongering. Law enforcement spins shit for the same reason. So, don't do that to me.
Okay, we've got breaking news. Dr. Ian Roberts' legal counsel, Alfredo Parrish, has conducted a press conference just about 10-15 minutes ago. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. He did answer a lot of questions that the press gave him, but I'm going to recap some of the things that he said in his statements. The first big thing is that he indicated Dr. Roberts is going to submit a letter of resignation to the Des Moines School Board today. The letter of resignation is not an admission of guilt. It is, however, an acknowledgement of this entire situation being a distraction for what matters most, and that's the students in Des Moines. One question that Alfredo Parrish did answer was if Dr. Roberts completed his PhD. He confirmed that he did. He has confirmation from Trident University that Dr. Ian Roberts is Dr. Ian Roberts. Now, here's what I want to get into. Alfredo Parrish indicated that Dr. Roberts had a previous attorney. This previous attorney is located in Texas, and this attorney was helping Dr. Roberts navigate the immigration case that he had. Alfredo Parrish also indicated that he has a letter directly from that lawyer that was submitted to Dr. Roberts indicating that his case was closed and that he had nothing else to worry about. That letter should be coming out here pretty soon, and you guys know I'm going to read it to you word for word. Here is what Alfredo Parrish did not answer. He did not answer any questions regarding Dr. Roberts' citizenship. He did not confirm and or deny if Dr. Roberts is a U.S. citizen. He did not confirm and or deny if his documentation was false. He did not confirm and or deny whether or not he had any type of green card, work authorization at the time of hire. He did not confirm or deny any of those. There was a question from the press that was somewhat of the effect of, why did Dr. Roberts run? Alfredo Parrish kind of tiptoed around with the answer of, if I was a black man. He is a black man. And then he kind of shut up. The tone of the press conference was this. They've only been his legal counsel since 3:30 on Friday, the afternoon that Dr. Roberts was detained. They're indicating that they have simply not had enough time to get all of the documentation necessary to really provide adequate information to the public. A legal mind close to me told me that they would say that. They have taken one action already. They did go to an Omaha court and file a motion to stay, requesting that Dr. Roberts be able to stay in the United States to handle the criminal case that he is going to be going up against. He indicated also that they are planning to file another motion to reopen the case that was apparently closed by that lawyer in Texas. The most significant newsworthy item coming out of that press conference is that Dr. Ian Roberts is going to be resigning from the Des Moines School District this afternoon.
Hey, you guys. Now, I've been waiting for the story to develop. This is literally the craziest story, and this is another reason why when we talk about oppression and black and brown people and immigrants being oppressed, it's quite difficult to push that argument when someone can come from the country of Guyana and overstay a visa from 1999 and get a gun charge and still rise to a $300,000 job as the superintendent of the biggest school district in Iowa, in Des Moines. Wow, that's oppression. Like, how do you... These are the stories that make that so false. That makes that argument so hard. Because clearly, he's literally like a purple leaf in a brown field that they put in the head of their... teaching their children. And it's because of DEI. They picked the most eyeball... Like, I literally been watching... I've been waiting for the story to develop. And they literally... Even when you go look at the pictures with him like... There's nothing wrong with diversity. I'm just saying, like, when you look at the pictures of him interacting with the students and the kids, it's like, he was literally like, he stood out like a sore thumb in that, over there. They went out and picked a very diverse person, and look how it backfired. And it's really sad, because it would have been a great story if he legally was a legal immigrant making an impact and not been, a criminal. But let's continue. Now, I just watched the press conference. They're really moving fast to get him up out of there. They don't want this thing on them anymore. And they're being investigated by the feds, as well as the Baltimore City schools that he used to work in. He plans to resign now. This just proves that he was in the country legally. And the same hundreds of people that's outside of his jail, protesting for him, y'all look stupid as hell. Y'all just look stupid as hell. Are we surprised? Because this is what people do. This is like, I damn near had a job like this before. Like, hey, it ain't looking too good, right now. This was a long time ago when I was a teenager, but maybe in college, maybe. But hey, such and such, it ain't looking too good. I don't want to mess up my record. Not that he'll ever be hired in the school system again. I mean, I doubt it, because they revoked his teaching credentials. So he's cooked in the education system. But you know how it is when you're about to get terminated, which is what they were about to do. He resigned because they told him he had until noon today for his lawyers to send over the paperwork showing that he could prove his citizenship. Clearly, he couldn't do that. They knew that when they told him to send it. He don't got it. Because why would ICE not cross their T's and dot their I's before they got him? They knew he was guilty. The fact that he ran when being pursued, he was guilty. Because if you ain't got nothing to hide, why would you do the Roscoe Dash? Why would you run? Why? I just saw, because he had a loaded pew-pew and a knife. That alone is grounds of termination, because you're not supposed to have it on school grounds. But let's continue. He's still, I hate to say this too, but as someone who's, a former, I guess you could say I'm still a stylist. I just don't do it anymore. Very much. These tacky suits, if you go back and look at his pictures, I can do a whole reel on his really tacky suits. And somebody in the comments, what's this? What's all this? This is actually light. This is actually a lighter suit, because he usually wears yellow and purple suits. But moving on, I just had to point that out. Weird. The loudest one in the room is usually not the right one in the room. He has a signature look. Do y'all see this? Let me show one more, y'all. I'm sorry, but these suits are killing me. Look at this green suit, y'all. Then he got the box braid, fake braided down at the top. Oh, I can't. But okay, here's the story. So he also had this pew-pew, which was loaded. That's grounds enough to be terminated. And it's crazy because knowing all of this, now he's resigning, but they had him on paid leave for a few days. Can y'all imagine? Talking about they want radical empathy for him. And come to find out, the school board president that hired him is Michelle Obama's former chief of staff, that was talking about we need to have radical empathy until the receipts start coming out. Can y'all believe this? Stop saying that y'all are oppressed. This is proof. This is proof that you're not. And as you can see, you have, of course, the typical, Anglo-Saxon liberals that are out here protesting for this criminal, illegal alien. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? Free Roberts, they said, until they found out he was a criminal. They're the mentor and inspire your kids, huh? It's always these soccer moms. They literally don't work. I think a lot of they're paid protesters. These people are these are moms of the school system that don't work, that just want something to do, to get together to do before they pick the kids up. Like, these people have no lives. I'm just convinced. Who has time for this crap? Now, Mr. Roberts, you know, he was he was in the Olympics, he ran track, went to several different colleges. But what I'm trying to figure out is, as Americans, we have to jump through so many hurdles just in TSA at the airport, on jobs. You know, they want 10-year driving records. It's jobs now that want your credit report. I remember that some years ago, going on jobs. They're like, well, we want a credit check. I'm like, for what? Credit checks. We subject to driving records. We were subject to, you know, the jab under Biden. We was forced to get all kind of stuff. You can overstay a visa from 1999. Go to school, become principal, become superintendent, use a fake social security card, because now they're investigating that. Because how did he even do all this? And be illegal? But us Americans have to bust our asses. That $300,000 job could have easily been a job for some qualified legal American. But y'all stretched. You know, Des Moines went out their way to hire a leopard, basically, that ended up turning into a black sheep. This is the real him right here, with his hair all undone, looking all this is the real guy that you hired, not Mr. Bojangles. This is really disturbing. And then we are also seeing it was this cop. I think that was the same area that, you know, he was illegal. You know, we have illegals in law enforcement. I think more of these stories are going to come out as, you know, ICE starts uncovering. But Ayanna Presley, who I'm going to get into another story later about her plea for black women getting fired from their jobs, you know, in alarming rates, really because of their attitudes. But, you know, of course, she's framing it as racism. But they always try to say it's black people, and black people are being attacked on these jobs, and we're losing jobs. But when you go, this is not every single story. This is not 300. We haven't went through every single story, but this is a good example of just, this is frightening. Because how many other people working around our children like this do we have that we don't know about yet? And y'all still support legal immigration? Like, make it make sense. What about this man? Like, he's a criminal. He's a liar. Let's talk about him like I talk about Trump. He's a liar. He's a criminal. He's this and that. He's untrustworthy. He also had a sexual assault case at one of his old schools. So, but y'all will promote people like this. These are the people y'all will stand out and protest for. Hypocrites. And also, the school system of Des Moines should be under investigation for even hiring this clown. Y'all are despicable. Disgusting.
The school says Roberts was hired legitimately after background checks. His attorney says he believed his immigration case was resolved earlier this year. Parents, students, and teachers describe him as a strong leader who cared deeply about education. Some students even staged protests in support of him. But the Iowa Board of Educational Examiners revoked his license, saying he no longer has a legal presence in the U.S. Roberts has since resigned as superintendent to avoid further distraction from the district. This case highlights three big issues. 1, the importance of verifying work status in leadership positions. 2, how immigrants can end up trapped in confusing legal limbo. And 3, the tension between law enforcement and community trust. Robert's story is a mix of law, leadership, and humanity, and it challenges America to balance all three. So, what do you think? Was this a failure of law, of leadership, or both? Should school districts be stricter with immigration checks, or should someone's impact on the community count for something? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more commentary on issues that affect real people. I'm Njoroge. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.